Hello everyone and welcome back to the EDH Jank Center, your source for everything Commander and everything Jank. I'm your host Jordan or Prairies, and today with the Brothers War just a little bit away, we're going to be finishing what we started last week. You can see that video right here. I'm not really too well versed in the lore. All I know is that Mishra is like Urza's not vibey brother. So yeah, without further ado, let's look at 5 cards I think you should put into Mishra Eminent 1. But before we get too hasty, let's look at Mishra Eminent 1. 2 blue, black, red. Legendary creature, human artificer from the Brothers War Commander. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of target non-creature artifact you control, except its name is Mishra's War Form, and it's a 4/4 construct artifact creature in addition to its other types. It gains haste until end of turn, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, and he's a 5/4. Dude. In the same way that Urza Chief Artificer makes Esper super interesting to me, Grixis has also been a really hard color combination for me to build around, except when I saw this card. We get to animate non-creature artifacts at the beginning of every combat. Now, there are obviously lots of shenanigans you can do with that, but I want to take it in the direction, at least the way that I would build it personally, is vehicles. You don't have to pay crew costs with Mishra's ability. And since the token that Mishra creates is just that, a token copy of your original non-creature artifact, you can keep your original vehicle on the field in case you need to crew it with something else, or if you don't want to risk that original dying in combat. Anyways, there's lots of shenanigans to get into. I'm geeked. You'll probably see a full deck tech on this later in the year. Let's get into it. All right, our first card up today is also our cheapest card of the day. It's Enchanted Carriage, 5 colorless mana, artifact vehicle from Throne of Eldraine. When Enchanted Carriage enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white mouse creature tokens. It has crew 2. Tap any number of creatures you control with total power 2 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn, and it's a 4/4. First of all, love the flavor of Mishra driving in a little pumpkin, driven by 2 mice that aren't even in his color identity. Anyways, in this build, guys, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that we are going to be creating token copies that enter the battlefield, and our beautiful little pumpkin carriage definitely does work in this deck. This helps us fill our board with either chump blockers or extra attackers, and while the token copy of the Enchanted Carriage does die, the mouse tokens stay on the field. So in a few turns, we've been battering our opponents with a pumpkin carriage and then creating a bunch of white little mice. And I think for 6 cents, this pumpkin slaps. Oh, and by the way, there's a third thing you can do with the mice tokens, and that's sack fodder, baby. Anyways, let's move on. 2 Horde Hauler, 3 in a red, artifact vehicle from Streets of New Capenna. It's got trample. Whenever Horde Hauler deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token for each artifact they control, and it's got crew 3, and it's a 5/5. What is this? No one told me about this card. What? Since Mishra is a pre-con deck and you'll be able to buy it as a fully pre-constructed commander deck, I would be shocked if this wasn't in the deck list. Also, I do record my videos in advance, so if the deck list is out by now, let me know in the comments if it is in the deck list. Anyways, this is a house in this deck. Again, with Mishra on the field, we don't ever have to use the original. We can just continue to make token copies of this card that can swing and attack. And with trample already on this card, we're almost guaranteed to be getting in for some kind of damage, unless our opponents have a huge blocker or a bunch of little guys to stack block with. And with the ubiquity of artifacts in our format, you are almost always guaranteed to get treasures. And then, boy, get out of here. If you're attacking an artifacts player or a treasures player, my God. And you know it's gas because it's from Streets of New Capenna, baby. Let's go. Let's move on to our next selection. Next card up is Rage Thrower, 5 in a red, creature, human shaman from Innistrad. It says, whenever another creature dies, Rage Thrower deals 2 damage to target player, and it's a 4/2. Listen, this is just incremental value on a budget. Super simple tech here. Mishra's ability says we sacrifice an artifact creature at the beginning of our end step, and so this allows us to hit our opponents with damage after hopefully having already hit them for tons of combat damage. And by the way, this is just great value in general. It doesn't matter if we're sacrificing creatures on our board. If any other creature, our opponents or our own, dies, we can point 2 damage from Rage Thrower at anyone's face. Kind of fire. All right, let's say we don't have something like Rage Thrower to take advantage of the tokens being sacrificed at our end step. Definitely gonna want something like this next card, Bloodflow Connoisseur, 2 in a black, creature vampire from Avacyn Restored. It says sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodflow Connoisseur, and it's a 1/1. Now, obviously, there are way better sack outlets, but this is the EDH Jank Center, and we're going for janky and budget includes here. So instead of our token copy for Mishra just dissipating into the ether, we can sacrifice it in response to Mishra's trigger on the end step and buff up our Bloodflow Connoisseur. So if we need a big beater late in the game or we need to crew a giant vehicle, this can get pretty big pretty fast. We can sacrifice our mouse tokens to it. The double masters version is only 3 cents. I think this is an excellent include if you're building on a super tight budget. Whoa, daddy, chill. We are already almost at our last card of the day, but before we get into that, guys, if you've been enjoying this content, consider joining the Patreon. Patrons get access to many perks, including the patron-only Discord where we talk about our favorite cards, spoilers, sets, decks, and even have the occasional spell table game with yours truly. So if that sounds appealing to you, make sure you check out that link in the description. I really appreciate all the support. It helps me make more content like this for you guys. All right, our last card of the day is one of my favorites that I've ever found. It's Audacious Reshapers. 2 in a red creature human artificer from Commander 2021. It has tap, sacrifice an artifact, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Audacious Reshapers deals damage to you equal to the number of cards revealed this way, and it's a 3/3. Ooh, baby, this is a tasty way to take advantage of our token copies. Since our tokens are gonna expire anyways, we might as well use them, and this is an amazing way to use them. In response to the trigger at the end step, or even in our second main phase, we can tap Audacious Reshapers, sacrifice our token copy, and then reveal cards until we reveal an artifact card. And in an artifact build, we're gonna have like a freaking lot of artifacts. And thus, the downside on Audacious Reshapers doesn't even really affect us all too much, and it's really just amazing value. And just like that, guys, we're done with yet another video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what you would put in a Mishra Eminent 1 build. Are you excited for the Brothers War? Was there anything that I missed? I'm always down there in the comments interacting with you guys, so come on down and have a chat with me. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll see you on the next video.